What up, Mackheads and Maniacs? I know y'all late to the channel today because this is last minute with OG Cutes. Cutes want to talk about some of the current events and a video that I just put up with some guys. He used to hang out at the house. He grew up with them dudes. How you doing, Cutes?
Pretty good. How you doing, brother Kev Mac? How you
I'm
doing,
all right.
audience? All the
I'm all right.
maniacs out there.
hmm I'm all right. Did you get a chance to see the video?
Yeah, that was a good video with Quincy's family. I hadn't seen a picture of young Quinn, R.I.P. in a long time, and the older brother, and the brothers, and just the geographic of the neighborhood, the way it looked like it was taken from a helicopter. So
Mm.
when it came down, I was like, wow, it was always a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, that's got to be crazy because I interviewed Quinn years and years and years ago. That's an old video. I
Yeah, that's the
but
first time
but
I saw it.
it's well, I'm just saying the footage. I never aired it, but actually the interview is about gambling. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and put that video together for y'all and release that. He talked about how everybody hung in my house and why the police was on me and all that type of stuff. But you want to talk about a few things. What's top of your agenda?
Well, first of all, my heart goes out to the families of the deceased that were brutally murdered in Buffalo, upstate, and the senselessness of it. Replacement, white supremacy, you know, they they lock on to a mindset that they're being replaced and that they're gonna just, disappear, like they made out of cotton candy or sugar, and then other races is just gonna come and cause them to be no more. And it's such a stupid, way to view, immigrants coming into the country. They also embrace the belief that blacks, Jews, and Mexicans have a scheme to, replace them, so to speak. Anyone that comes into the United States, becomes a United States citizen. You become an American. It's supposed to be a body of people who represent the United States of America. It's not that the Jews, the Indians, the blacks, whatever other race that immigrated here or migrated here, and we were brought over here in slave ships. We came up here against our will. But however you got here and you went through the process of becoming a citizen to be here, it's not that you here to take the place of anyone. You here to take your place. So the stupid kid who who felt himself full of hate from being indoctrinated with all of the hate that's going on the internet and these sites, and listening to Fox News, Tucker Carlson, listening to all of these radical view of people who pushes the replacement theory. You know, it's a shame that he was so gullible, to believe it. Here it is. He lives in a home. He got a roof over his head. No one's going to replace him. He's here. No one's going to replace his mother, his father. They're here. We are going to die. If you want to look at it as being replaced, no, you die and you're gone. You haven't been replaced by killing those 10 innocent people. You killed 10 innocent people. You didn't make room for anyone. You just took 10 innocent lives. What you did is you voluntarily killed those people. Now you replaced. You're never going to be a part of this free society to enjoy the American dream because of your white supremacist views. You were so indoctrinated with the hate, and you carried out this awful crime, and you think you were doing your race a service. What you did is do yourself and your family a disservice. You're locked up for the rest of your life, and you never did time before. So you could cry at all your hearings. You could do everything that other kid did when he killed those two people. but it's not going to work for you, buddy. You're going to be locked up forever. And you're going to be in there with more hateful people than what you are. And they're going to see that you're a little punk. Look at all of those guys from the look at all those guys that is working with the June 6th investigation. All of those white supremacist groups. They jumped ship already. They can't do no time. They working with the committee. They putting everything on Trump. They want to cut the snake's head off. Everything is on him. Now the DOJ, he's doing his own investigation against what happened on that day. And all of you guys are running like little rats, telling on each other. And these are the people that brainwashed you. These are the people that you looked up to. They ain't nothing but a bunch of rats. And what they're doing now is that they're trying to seek higher ground. Okay, I'll tell on this part. That way I could get, I could get a benefit from this. Maybe I'll see the light of day. But they're not even facing no hard time in their telling. But you just murdered 10 innocent people. You filled yourself with so much hate, and you went and took out this awful, crime, like you were building a psychopath within yourself. So let me tell you something, all you white supremacists. Let me tell you something. That
I hope white supremacists don't watch this channel. But go ahead.
white supremacists watch, and if they don't watch, their relatives watch. Let me tell you something. The blacks, the Mexicans, and the Jews, we have our own issues. I don't know if I'm gonna use one of Nipsey Hussle's phrases. The last time I checked, we don't get along so good ourselves. So,
right.
But whatever you building this, belief on that we're coming together with a master plan to replace you, white supremacists, then it's like I always say, it's a figment of your imagination. But you believe it, so it's not crazy to you. You think you're doing the right thing. So a copycat will come, another person will come. You shot up the Jews in the synagogue. You killing innocent people. One fanatic who gets brainwashed through Tucker Carlson and all these other platforms. And I use him is because his platform is right there feeding it. He feeds the monster. He's saying it all day. Then you got all of these other politicians who do it. And young people, you're so, gullible and naive. You think when you read something, it's the mean. You don't know that that's not real. You just reading something. You think that it's final and that this is it, and you didn't stumble across something. And now the little light clicks on in your no brain. Yes, no brain. The little light clicks on in your no brain, and you arrive that this is your truth. You think it's the truth, but it's your truth. And your truth is predicated on a lie. We are all Americans. Some of us are Americans like Black Americans. We didn't even want to be American. We would have been fine without getting on your slave ship, without getting fed to the sharks, without getting fever and thrown overboard or whipped, being hung when we brought over here, and then you're going to write, this is your reparation on your little rifle. You actually believe that no matter what suffering that some of the people went through to get here, especially Black people, the suffering that our ancestors went through to be here, we didn't want to be here. We never asked to come here. We didn't say, "Oh, let's go down to the ship company or wherever." There was no travel like that. And say, "Let's get a ticket. Let's get on the cruise and go visit the Americas." No, it wasn't like that. They brought us here, just in case you didn't know it, to be slaves, not indentured servants, but slaves. Then what you guys are suffering from, white supremacists, is skeletons in your own historical closet. And what I mean by that is that you're the ones who came here and tried to annihilate the Indians. You're the ones who wanted to replace something. And you did it. You killed off thousands, millions of Indians, hundreds of thousands. We'll never know how many Indians that you killed off. And so whatever you feeling is something that you have already done. And if you feel that the white race is going to be replaced, then why don't you stop replacing yourself by doing dumb shit? You know, why don't you stop? Maybe you could start right there.
But,
Because
but
that's
uh,
a reality.
speak to this though, because on the phone you told me that it's not all white people; it's
No,
a certain group of white people.
yeah, that's
So
why I
what's
said
the
white
difference?
supremacy. Okay, the difference is that the Americans they don't embrace that. There are Republicans that don't embrace the replacement, theory. There are Democrats who don't, embrace it. There are people here in America that look at it like, wow, man, why why is the left why are they pushing this? Why do they keep saying that they letting all these immigrants in? We gotta shut our borders down. They're gonna get our jobs. They're gonna take this. They're gonna take that. No, they're not. They're not gonna take anything. They're gonna become Americans and they're gonna help build the community. We do more good for society than bad. But it's like your racist criminal, once upon a time uh, rapist president who said they're letting, Mexican murderers and child molesters, they letting them through the border. And he made an ass out of himself when he said that. Then he got his militias to get in their trucks and go through the back country there and just, he just deputized a bunch of criminals, just to patrol, like, a bunch of Karens. I call them Karens. He had his Karens out there. So he always embraced the militia. And the militia, these are the white supremacists that I'm talking about. The militia are the bread and butter, of the white supremacy. But when their leaders get locked up, the first thing they do is tell on each other. They're I don't know why you guys look up to them. They and their ideology is built on lies. They're not superior to anything. They're weak, and they want to all cluster together. They live in a state of fear. They make bunkers. They want to get off in these little areas in the mountains, and they want to hide food. They just crazy people. It's almost like Charles Manson when he tried to start the race war, with his little idea. It's like fanatics, and young kids follow that. Impressionable minds is easy to get influenced by that. And the sad thing is that 10 innocent people lost their lives because this little kid became radicalized right up under the roof of his family. And maybe they took part in the radicalization through their own dysfunction within their own family. I don't know. But whatever the end result, no good happened. And he replaced himself. That's what I want you fanatics to see. When you do this type of thing, you are replacing yourself. You're taking yourself out of competing, out of becoming a citizen, living free in a society. You X yourself out. So that's just one minus white supremacist that's out of the picture. And I don't have I don't have no problem with that. But as long as you're here, you have a chance to open your mind, change your views, and live a righteous life, without infringing on someone else who came here, and went through the process, and now they citizens too, and they working and they're doing good. They're Americans. We are Americans, and you guys need to come to terms with that. And you need to feel some type of remorse and sorrow for what just happened. And this goes with all of the mass shootings. When you kill Jews, when you kill Asians, when you kill any American that then came here, and you feel that you justified in taking their life, because our life has value, not just your life.
Right. Hey, it's crazy because when me and you were sitting with Monster, Monster Cody, he was talking about how white supremacists was about to be killing black people, and he talked about mass shootings are never carried out by black people, and he was saying it was going to get worse, and we're starting to see that.
Yeah, he definitely did. And what we can't do is become afraid. And what we can't do is act out. We can't become sick as them. We can't allow ourselves to become indoctrinated with that type of hatred. You American, you out here in society, you can't take your mind and create a mind like that, a psychopathic mind, a homicidal mind. You can't let what's going on in this in this world with these sick people over here. You can't let this make you just as sick because it's contagious. And you gotta always be vigilant, on what you think and your thoughts and what you're going through. How is this affecting you? That's why you need to talk about it. You need to, and we need to hold those. We need to hold Murdoch, Fox News, the Republicans, anyone who is campaigning and putting this out here about the replacement, of white people and about hating the immigrants and going to all of these extremes. We need to have these people held accountable, and whether it takes to file individual lawsuits or whatever, because all of our lives are in danger. Because I'm not just going to randomly get a gun and go out and start shooting white people because I think I'm going to get the next one, that's going to do the next crazy thing. Because that's what this looks like it's headed to. It looks like it's headed to some crazy ass shit. And it's not right. It needs to stop. But you go on these radio talk shows and you just go to the FM station and
Right.
you hear all of these nuts. You hear Hannity. You hear there used to be Rush Limbaugh. You hear all of these fat, out of shape, white supremacist white people are, pushing this, pushing the hate, and it's not right. And they're not going to do anything. They instigating their young minds to go and do it. The young minds, they're impressionable minds. They're ignorant minds. They're building their mind up with all of this untruth, and it becomes their reality. And they feel like, okay, I got to vanguard this. I got to go and handle this. I got to do it at the end of a barrel.
Hey, Cute, you told me that we was not gonna let nobody in the comment section sway us to other conversations. So I'm gonna try to be diligent and not address the guy that's in the comment section right now. But how does all this hate that you say is contagious equate to black people hating each other, man? Are we gonna wake up, or are we gonna bite into that same hate against our own people?
No, the reason we hate each other, and it comes from jealousy. It comes from a limited amount of resources. It comes from being lazy. It comes from with not liking ourselves. There's a lot of variables that are involved in it, and in order in order for a person to get well and not behave in the same manner that he once behaved in, he must look at what he's doing as something's wrong in what he's doing, and he must see something where he could self-correct. A lot of people don't understand how to self-correct. It's like, okay, look at Donald Trump. He never has apologized for anything. So he doesn't know how to correct. It doesn't matter how much money you have or what education you have or lack. You know, I think every man is capable, of to do some introspect within himself, and then he can look at, what he wants to cut out and what he wants more of. So I think we are, as a people, black, I think we need to really, look inward and stop killing, other people like ourselves. Stop killing anyone. and especially over material stuff, diamonds, uh, robbing and taking people's property and just, stuff you think it's important now. But when you're sitting in that prison cell for 32 years, like I had to sit in the prison cell for 32 years for a senseless crime, you know, and it caused so much pain in the world, you're going to realize that you have formulated a belief system built on lies. You're going to realize that you program yourself. And whatever you program yourself with, that's the way you're going to act out events when anything seems familiar with your program. So if as a black man, I don't look at as Bloods my enemy anymore. I don't look at Crips as my enemy anymore. I don't see that in my mindset. I don't look at Mexicans as my enemy anymore. Whites as my enemy anymore. I don't embrace the mentality, and I'm not scary. So I'm not walking around. I'm not building me a bunker. I'm not gonna hoard me some food and flashlights and batteries. I'm not preparing for doomsday, because you create your own doomsday right here on earth. I remember in prison there was these dudes in there, and they had life sentences like me, and it was this particular group, and they used to always say, "Hey man, the world's coming to an end. The world's coming to an end." And I say, man, I hate them motherfuckers, man.
Watch
And
your mouth.
okay, but every time I would go around there, excuse my language, but that's how much disdain I had for their verbiage. And so every time I would go over there, I would come back and I would tell my buddy, I would say, man, that group of dudes right there, I don't like them. And then my buddy said, how come, cute? I said, hey man, those dudes, man, they don't got no hope. And when you're around some people like them, they're unpredictable. I don't like them. Even though they laugh, they joke, and they want to intermingle with you, those dudes don't see no light at the end of their tunnel. And those dudes, they real negative, and I don't like them. They already dead, and they don't even know it. They like signing off on their life already, even though they got life. The rabbi said, even though you got a life sentence and your behavior got you here, you could change the quality of your life while you're here. He says maybe one day the laws will change, and then you could take that quality that you're improving on and you could take it back out to the street with you. That's what the rabbi used to say. He would say, but unfortunately, some of you have never will get out of here. And he says, that's okay. That's okay too, because wherever you at, that's where you at. So you should try to work on the quality of your life wherever you at. It's a deep statement. Everybody can't embrace, but I look at people who become hopeless and I go back to these white supremacists, because they can't even be happy out here in society. They're not even happy in prison. They're the most miserablest people inside of prison. Now, you should be able to be in prison and self-reflect and say, dang, man, I hate all of the blacks. I hate the Mexicans. I hate the Jews. But look, we all in prison together. We are criminals. We are here. You can't get away from people. That's what I'm saying. If you're a criminal, you're going to be where criminals are at. If you're a citizen, then you want to remain a citizen, you're going to be out here with citizens. If you do criminal stuff, then you're going to wind up in prison with criminals, but you're never going to get away from all the races. Now, what you going to do? You're going to PC up. You're gonna go to a part of the prison where there's only you. You ain't going to intermingle with nobody else. Or you going to manipulate another race to do your dirt? What are you going to do? You're still going to interact. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to realize, dang, I filled myself with all this hate. And now here I am, asking this guy to get my line. I'm asking this guy to pass this for him. I'm asking this guy for a smoke. Hey, you got a little coffee, because you realize that once you're in prison, you realize at the end of the night, it's your ass in the cell. It's your ass on that hard bunk. It's your ass in that dark room. It's your ass that's facing those bars or that metal door that's before you. It's your ass on that cold steel tarp. You realize that you suffering through this by yourself. No matter how big of a group you belong to, no matter how much noise the prison makes, at the end of the night, you're there by yourself. And you can block it out sometimes, but it all comes down to you and your own eternal suffering that you caused yourself if you wasn't set up to be in
Yeah, I see. I'm gonna have to come back and do another live and address some other things. But this is the problem. People talk about COINTELPRO. People talk about fear, but COINTELPRO is trying to avoid talking about the racism that exists in America and these mass shootings carried out by white supremacists. Fear is you not wanting to address what white America is doing and the laws in favor of white Americans is carrying these things out. Fear is you listening to a guy on YouTube that you don't know, never met, and don't know what his credibility or background is, and spewing out the same information to hate on another black dude. That's COINTELPRO and hatred right there, fear. And sorry to address this, Q's, but if anybody's COINTELPRO, and fact check this. If
it.
anybody's COINTELPRO and you on YouTube admitting that you handed out guns to black gang members to commit genocide, if you don't know what that is, if you don't know what you're listening to and watching, I feel sorry for you. Your mind is more corrupt than a guy that carries out these public shootings after watching Fox News.
And don't pay attention to small mind because anyone could become angry. Anyone could grab a gun and shoot up some stuff. It
But
doesn't
but,
take
but
a no, no. I
saying is
understand. I understand exactly what you're saying. I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm just commenting on the other end of it. Being an antagonist. People who
right.
want to antagonize. Anytime, anytime that my neighborhood or my little gang, the Magnificent Seven, got in a conflict, we didn't have to motivate, someone else to go do it. We didn't have to, oh, hey, man, manipulate another group over here to go do what we needed to do or what I needed to do. So I'm not gonna come on the internet. I'm not gonna instigate. I'm not gonna do a Tucker Carlson. I'm not gonna come on here and instigate young blacks to do damage, to take up arms, to go and kill anybody. I'm not because I got too much love for them now. I don't. Their family loves them. Their family needs them. Their babies need them. I'm not gonna be that selfish person who tries and get someone else to do something. Throw the rock and hide my hand kind of person. I'm not gonna be that kind of. I'm not of that. I'm not of that caliber. I'm not of that character. So a person can take their platform and and they could do that. And if that's what you desire to do, then you ain't no better than the white supremacist. You ain't no better. You ain't no better than Tucker Carlson. You ain't no better than Sean Hannity. You ain't no better than Donald Trump. You ain't no better than none of these races. If that's what you want to do, because they don't care about their people either. They don't care about themselves. How could a narcissist care about anything other than himself, his or herself? Is the women are the same way? Women can be the same way. But with all this hate going on in the world, and we're supposed to be out here enjoying ourselves, having a good day, going shopping, doing things what people do in society, this fanatic, he decides to go and kill 10 people because of their race. And he was radicalized. And it didn't take long. They say like within a span of 2 years, that he really, got, sick to the point to where he was ready, to spread his infection. And it's sad because all the warning signs were there. he was posting, he was saying these things, he was doing stuff, but no one hit on it. None of the people who's supposed to handle this did their job, and maybe that's where racism comes in too. They don't take nothing. It's hard for another white person, to prosecute another white person. We could see that with June 6th committee. We could see that, that it's hard. But when it comes to black people like Bill Cosby, Art Kelly, they rush through their prosecution. OJ Simpson, we could see racism all through there. We could see it through the police department, the way they treat minorities. We just see it. It's all interwoven within the fabric of the society of the United States. Well, what my brother Kev Mac is saying is that, look, man, you got fear over here, you got brainwashing taking place over here. Then
Lots
you
of
got a
that.
group of people over here who don't know what the hell they doing, but yet they instigating this group of people to go kill more of those type of people. And when they look in the mirror, they killing themselves.
He left a manifesto too, right?
Yeah, he left a manifesto. Yeah. And the manifesto sound like Tucker Carlson.
He
Sound like he helped him write it.
probably did.
Yeah, sound like he helped him write it. And all he does it is to be cute and to make money. And Murdoch, the Murdoch family doesn't care. They just in it to make money.
Rupert
But
Murdoch.
yeah, but once you overthrow America, and then there's no more America, and then you got, what do you got? Like Monster said, Sarajevo, you know, to be digging mass graves. It's just crazy, man, to go backwards in life.
Hmm.
That's why I don't enjoy reading the Bible, really, because of all of the mass killings that took place in it. I'd be like, wow, I don't care how bad these people was. I don't think he should have killed all of them. That kind of rubs me the wrong way. I mean,
Yeah.
I know some people are bad, but damn, you gonna kill the kids too? I mean, some of it is just way out to me. So one day I was in prison and I was reading it, and I was like, hey man, the Bible's pretty violent. I'm like, I'm gonna stop reading certain parts. I just read a little. I would pick and choose the parts I like to read.
The
You gotta
Bible
be
too violent for OGQs? Man, that Bible got to be a straight war book.
Hey, well, I was trying to look at murder as something, and executing people. I do things in extreme, so I said, well, it can't be good at no level.
Well, from reading the Bible, you think murder ain't a bad thing, right?
Well, I came to believe that it was. I don't think that you could take a whole, clan and say the whole clan is bad. It's almost like what's going on now. These fanatics, these supremacists, is trying to say these different races are totally bad. That's why I don't like when remember I used to always bring up this about gangs, and I didn't like when authority would say MS-13 and Crips and Mexican Mafia, and they paint them all bad and that they are deserving to be locked up for the rest of their life. I don't like that kind of thinking. I don't like that because it goes back to you know let's get rid of all of them. I don't like that thing in America. They did the Indians like that too. They had the different tribes. Well, let's kill a Pontiac. The Cheyenne. They do this. We got to wipe that. We got to wipe those out.
Mm,
It's crazy thinking, huh?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. So what I want to do is speak to young white boys and young white girls. I
What
want I want you guys to realize that your white supremacist heroes, as soon as they look at the guy with the patch on his eye, he's telling. He's the leader. He's one of the leaders. He's telling right now. And I want you guys to see that. People who you follow, who you put a Superman S on, who they make movies after. These people care. Uh, I was I was on YouTube yesterday, and it said Young Thug was making an emotional plea to the judge that he just wants to be with his family. And I was like, okay, all right, I understand that. Everybody wants to be just wants to be with their family. You know, and he said that he makes an emotional plea. But see, when people of color make emotional plea, it usually doesn't have any bearing on reality. You know, so I mean, we grew up watching Walt Disney movies. You know, we grew up watching cartoons, and it gives you this. You know, it might give you a sense that something good is going to happen. You know, when you show emotion. You know, when you show sorrowful emotion. You know, but usually your sorrowful emotion doesn't change anything other than what's inside of yourself. You know,
Well,
so
well, this is what Cupes is speaking to. Somebody wants you to speak to the white replacement theory.
that's what I'm telling you. It's not reality. It's not. It's the people who are embracing it are supremacists. They believe that immigrants. They believe that Jews, Mexicans, and blacks are conspiring to replace the whites. And like the whites is just made out of cotton candy, and they're just gonna vanish off the earth one day. They believe that, and they believe they're going to lose all of the power that they have. How they went to school, they got educated. How they gonna? They not. No one's going to lose anything. It's just a. It's a mentality built on hate. It's like Hitler. He wanted to kill all the Jews. He marched them off to the concentration camps, and he burnt them in incinerators. Just look at history of countries that did this. Look at what the Americans did when they first came over here to the Indians. It's replacing a whole group, you know, through violence. How could blacks, Mexicans, and Jews replace whites?
Hey, you
How?
know what's
We
crazy,
don't got
Q?
an army.
You know what's crazy too is how during the slavery years and some post-slavery, white people had black mothers raising their kids, raising their infants, and nursing their babies. And it's just crazy how they can actually hate us when you had black people doing everything, doing all your labor, taking care of your kids, raising your kids, cleaning your house, doing all that stuff, man. And it's kind of crazy, but for some reason, it seems like some people fear retaliation for what their ancestors did, and they feel they're outnumbered and they have to do something. But we
Yeah,
never felt like that. We
the
never
same
had
way,
that much hatred.
yeah, the same way all of us are affected by slavery, they are affected by all of the stuff that was done to other races, like the way they massacred the Indians, you know, the way they treated the blacks, you know, the way they treated the Mexicans, you know. I don't know what they didn't do anything to the Jews. I don't know where they come in the picture at. The way they treated the, you know, Filipinos, the way they treated, you know, the Chinese, the Japanese, the way they treated them. Maybe the skeletons in their own closet, it haunts them, you know, and they just think that doomsday is coming, and it's coming at the hands of that, you know, something's gonna just arise and engulf them. You know, white supremacists are crazy. We don't got an army, we don't got the military, we don't got everything. It's the United States of America. I don't see how they can't see that. I don't understand how replacement theory. I don't understand how people, you know, gravitate toward it and actually take hold on it, and it makes them think if they kill these Jews over here, kill these Mexicans over here, kill these blacks over here, how is that going to help you? How is that going to stop you? I mean, you just stopped yourself through that behavior. You just You just replaced yourself.
You know, there's other topics we could address another night, but the whole Mexican and black thing is something different.
Yeah,
Also, I don't know what state you guys are in or how much you know as far as having friends or meeting people from other races and hearing that some races were indoctrinated when they came to America, and I'm not necessarily talking about Mexicans, but other races were indoctrinated when they came to America not to trust black people and not to get close to black people. But here in the 2000s, you could see that changing drastically. Even with white people, you see black males with white women, and you see white women with black males. Did I say that right? Black males with white women, and
yeah,
white males with black women.
yeah,
And
and it ain't no big deal. And but racists don't like interbreeding. They all feel that that's part of being replaced. They look at everything as, oh, we're being replaced here, we're being
yeah,
replaced by this. They look at all of that. That's why they call it, it's like crazy thinking, man. I mean, it's like we all Americans, right? So if we all Americans and you didn't took a little kid, and filled his head full of all of this lies, and then he goes out, he gets guns and he goes and kills some innocent people. And he was thinking about going to kill little kids, in school.
right. Because
Kill
those are the
people,
ones that can reproduce.
yeah, man, and kill kill people in church, kill people wherever they're at. And it's not gonna stop Americans being Americans. It's not going to close the borders to America.
No,
The
that ain't gonna
border
do nothing.
people
That
people
ain't got no bearing on the borders.
yeah, people going to always be, made citizens. People are always going to do the right thing to come over, become a citizen. Other countries is going to have things going on to where they need to come over here for safety reasons. There's always going to be that humanity within America,
I
and
cute, a little bit off subject,
yeah.
but kind of on target. I trip off like black people. We don't care who a black woman messes with. Like if we see a white dude with a black woman or a Mexican with a black woman, we might say, "Boy, you like that ass, huh? You like that soul, huh?" You know what
Yeah,
I'm
we
saying?
we look at it as a compliment.
Yeah, it's a
We say, "Man, they
compliment.
see how they see how good and how sweet sisters are."
We
We look
like,
at it
oh,
like
you got
that.
you a cool one. Like we
Yeah,
and we not talking about no ugly broad. We like, oh, you got you a cool one. But
yeah.
when
We
we
don't want to beat the guy up or plot against the guy or
no,
or,
no,
or
not at
bump
all, man.
him. We don't do none of that
You
because we're
giving
not
him his
racist.
props.
Yeah,
But
we're not racist.
other races have a problem with it. They be mad at you, like you said, plotting, or they be rude to you. They give you dirty looks,
Yeah,
threaten you, want you to get up out of wherever you at, a restaurant or wherever in public.
it's
It's
funny.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
We
funny.
we, we
It's
hate
like,
we hate each other. We don't hate no other races. That's crazy.
yeah. And I think one day we're gonna stop hating each other. I think one day once we realize that we got to get, education, we got to get our trades right, and we got to learn, and stick with something. Because right now, we're not we're not motivated to get a trade. It's like we think that we're gonna get our money from someone else. We think that we're going to be a movie star or singer. We see these shiny stars before us, and we think they got it like that, so we're going to have it like that too. But that ain't reality. Reality is that you have to get a trade. I learned that in prison. You got to get yourself a trade, a marketable skill. If you ever look at society and you wake up early in the morning, get on the freeway and you see everybody rushing, those people are going to work. Those are normal people. Those cars have individuals in them, and every person is going to work an honest job. Different color people, different races. This is what makes America. And some of them don't make that much money. Some of them make minimum wage. Some of them make good wage. Some of them got different levels of education. but everybody's stride and everybody's going to work. And then when 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock comes, the traffic starts going the other way. Everybody's going home. The family, they're going to see their family. They're going to, the things that they left off on the activity, that's freedom. I don't mind giving 8 hours of a day to work, and then the other few hours that I got when I'm going home, spend with my dog, spend with my girl, go got groceries, do laundry. That's life. That's living life out here in America. I'm not rich, and that's what the white supremacists need to realize. You need to take off your camouflage. You need to just have a normal life. Ain't nobody trying to take anything from you. You taking it from yourself when you do dumb shit, when
I
you do
know one
mass
thing.
murder.
I know one thing, man. This weekend I hung out with China Dog and a bunch of Pyrus from Compton, Inglewood, and other sets.
That's
And
good company, man, hanging out with them Pyrus, man.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
like when you can hang out with some Bloods and you can just kick it, man, and you say, wow, man, even if I kick it with some Mexicans, I'd be like, man, this is what America's all about.
But
It's
look,
about
but look,
stepping
Q.
outside your circle.
But my point was over the weekend, I ran across Goob, Baby Crazo, quite a few dudes from the LA area, right? And no matter if they was Crip, Blood, Gangster car, neighborhood car, whatever car, everybody was talking about killing. There's so much murder going on in LA right now. I don't even know if they're reporting all these murders, to be honest. But it's like it's so sickening. So everywhere I go, you hear people say, "Man, I'm tired of this. Man, when we gonna stop this?" So when you called me and told me about the shooting, I'm like, "What?" I'm thinking you finna tell me a black dude committed the murders, but to hear a white dude killing us and we killing us, man, this stuff is crazy. Even the Mexicans don't want to kill us no more. Not that they was killing us, but there were incidents. But it's like we are so what's the word? Uh,
Self-destructive, man.
we're
Self-hatred.
self-destructive. We're vicious on each other, man. And I'm tired of it. I had a homie call me and say, "Kev Mac, I want to talk to you about this killing. How are we gonna stop it?" I said, I'm not gonna stop it. So you might want to call somebody else. And he was like, "That's why I called you, because I want to hear the truth, man. I feel the same way you feel." I'm like, it's sad. I've been talking about it so long that I don't even purposely engage in them type of conversation no more because I see there's not a lot of hope for black people in LA no more, man. They just want to kill each other and kill each other.
Well, the sad thing is the drugs that's being abused. Now, when you look at this replacement theory and you look at the reality that blacks and minorities, they're killing themselves through the fentanyl. Whites are killing themselves more with heroin and fentanyl and all of these different drugs. And then you embrace this, white supremacy, and you think somebody's replacing you. You're replacing yourself through your destructive behavior. We're replacing ourselves through our destructive behavior. All the races who have destructive behavior, at the end of the day, those young people are replacing themselves. You have the high murder rate, black on black crime. You have the Hispanics dying from overdoses. You have the whites dying from overdose. You have the high recidivism rate of blacks and Mexicans going into the prison system for not the first time, but like the third and fourth time. And each time they're spending more and more years in there. So now they're not getting a piece of the American pie. And whenever they get out in their 60s or 50s, they haven't accumulated anything. No Social Security build up, no pension. So they're going to live the rest of their life in extreme poverty. And then the light will click on, but it's too late. Because don't let the light click on when you're in a prison cell, bro. Don't let that light click on and you sitting with a life sentence and you realize everything you did was for nothing. You know, that's why it's good and it's enjoyable, but it's sad at the same time when one of these shows get a phone call from a prisoner and the light clicked on. But this guy got a bunch of years to do, a bunch of calendars to do, and he wants to impart some information with you. I listen to those brothers because they realize what they did, what they value. They shouldn't have been valuing it so much. So you brothers and whatever race you're out there killing each other like that in LA, you need to wake up. You need to quit getting high. You need to realize that your life is not a script. It's not a play. It's reality. You do something, you're gonna do some real time, man. You take a human life, you might as well took your life too, because it's only a matter of time before you're gonna get told on or you're gonna get caught. Or
Right.
you just so brazen, you do everything in broad daylight. Whatever way, man, you're gonna get caught. You're gonna do a lot of time, man. You're gonna realize you're gonna be in prison. There ain't no weights in prison. The food is nasty. You're gonna just be in there miserable, rotting away. You made out of flesh and blood. The older you get, the more ailments come about in your body. Just gonna rot away. I seen people rot away. Cancer comes into your body. You just die. I used to hear people moaning and crying at night because they're in pain. They got stomach cancer. They don't. The infirmary's full. You in your cell. The MTA comes to your cell. Now the nurse will come to your cell, and I gotta send you out to an outside hospital. You're gonna die right there inside of the prison. You're in a level 4 prison. They don't like to move level 4 inmates around. You're a danger. You're a risk to public safety. It's okay if you die in your cell. It's normal. The white truck is taking bodies up out of prison every morning. Yeah, every morning people are dying in prison, just like at a hospital. You see the white van come, they taking people out from the infirmary that has died, expired. So if
Hey,
you want
hey,
to die in prison, go ahead and continue your behavior.
yeah,
I don't know
that's
what you're
crazy
doing.
because you would think by now, youngsters coming up would know when you catch an L now, man, it's a good chance when you get out, you're not gonna have no parents, and you're not gonna be able to raise your kids from prison. So it really see it's different. Even though y'all did a long stretch, a lot of y'all right before y'all got y'all cases, man, people was getting out in 3 to 6 years, man, for murders.
Yeah.
Especially
That,
when y'all was teenagers. See, people don't equate to y'all was putting in work as teenagers. So y'all was going to YA, YTS and getting out. These dudes don't understand. They're in their 30s, banging hard. And they getting L's, man. They getting some long
I'm,
sentences.
I'm I'm gonna tell you the stuff that they getting high off of, and they go to the movies. They go to the movies and they be there in the big screen. They're so high they feel like when they out in their car and they all together and they laughing. They got the music cut all the way up. They just took the drug. They got the effect they want to feel. They actually think they're in the movie. And then when they do the dumb shit, now they doing the time. The movie's over. Their high's coming down. Now reality settles in. They realize they just a little frail person in a cell in a big old prison. Now they want to start telling. They want to, what, but they're tired of all the telling. They say, we don't need, what do we need? What you're going to tell us has no value. You're going to just get your time. You're going to go back there. You're going to do 57 years, 87 years. We don't want to hear your emotional plea to your family, what you want the judge to do, what you're going to say to the judge. This is not a movie. You've been sentenced. You're going back. Let's go. Grab your shit. You're not going to be treated like everybody's going to be sorry for you, like the music's going to come on and everybody in the world is going to, have a moment for you. Nobody, the world goes on. No one knows you locked in there. No one knows you locked away in prison. No one cares. Every day goes by. You forgot. Out of sight, out of mind. You're going to be happy the first few months. You're going to feel a thrill in it because it's all exciting and new. Then it's going to get old and raggedy. Then you're going to reach conflict. Somebody wants to stab you. What are you going to do now? You're going to PC up? Yeah, probably. You don't know how to stab nobody. You don't know how to survive. But yet you shoot your guns out there, you kill people, think you making a rep. You ain't making no rep. Whatever you doing out here, don't mean nothing when you go to prison. All the
And
shit, the name you build up.
I'm gonna just say this: I'm an old guy. I'm out the way, but we had so much fun going to concerts and rumble, man. Go out on Crenshaw and rumble. Go to the beach and rumble. Go to Marina Del Rey, rumble. Go to Irvine Amphitheater, rumble. Hollywood Palladium, rumble. You know, those was the good days, man, because you can leave and you can talk about and have fun and you can show up to the next concert and get revenge. You know what I mean? These are things that'll be talked about for decades, but when you kill somebody and that person dead, that person don't have a story to tell. When you get yourself killed or extradited out or you find yourself in a gun battle on the losing end, you can't live to talk about it like we do. So I love the days of being able to go to an event and just squabble it up,
Yeah, they don't understand about the pill. They don't understand that we wasn't homicidal. We would go fight. We would walk through your neighborhood, cross the track into another gang neighborhood, spill out, have a good clean gang fight, get whipped or win or get chased back across the track, or across Normandy, wherever we
man.
were going, through
Win,
anywhere
win,
across Florence.
win or lose,
Yeah,
you with your homies and you establish friendships and relationships that this person is down or this person got your back or this person's
yeah.
gonna go with you side to side, back to back, man.
But you with some scary people, or someone always say, "Man, do we got a Roscoe? Do we got a
It's
Roscoe?"
four of
Yeah,
y'all
but
with
we
one
don't.
gun.
Yeah, we don't need no Roscoe. Let's go. What do we need a Roscoe for? Because they're gonna have a Roscoe. Oh man, I don't care about all that. But now you guys are so scary. Everybody got a Roscoe. So it ain't gonna be no fighting. You just shoot someone, kill them. Then you killing all this killing going on, man. And you killing for material stuff. You killing another poor person for material stuff. A
Hey,
ring.
we was crowded around talking to this. Me and BG Bop was talking to this one Pyru, and he made a good point about how you guys might have 6 shots but only 3 bullets or 4 bullets.
Yeah.
And he was saying now, man, he like it's scary. We gotta be careful because these youngsters jump out now. They got banana clips. They got 100 shots for your ass.
Oh yeah, that's why when a shooting happens now, 3, 4, 10 people get killed because these crazy ass kids now they're shooting automatic weapons. And their body count is gonna be high. So you got the white supremacists, one becomes radicalized and fanaticized, and they want to go out and do something, heinous, and just murder a bunch of people because of their race. Then you're gonna have a lot of casualties. So that's why they need to be addressed, and the young people need to know that the people that you're listening to that's indoctrinating you are going to tell. And they're not even facing a lot of time. They just start telling. You would think the guy with the patch on his eye, everything he did, he had a hole dug in his backyard, he had food. You would have thought he would be able to do some time, right? He's a survivalist. He can't even do a few months in the jail without telling. That's crazy. Because
Hey,
I'm gonna tell you the
let me
reality.
hold on real quick.
Time. What
Uh,
would you say, Kev?
I don't know that anybody said anything about the murder rate. What I said about the Pyru was the number of gunshots. So with every gun, every bullet, every gun, every shooting doesn't equate to murder. I mean, that's just common sense. Let's not be smart. Let's act and speak with a little bit of common sense. So let me explain. So a dude back in the day might walk up on you with a 38 special or even a 22 and get you and get his man. You dead. Boom, you dead. 9 millimeters go through you. A lot of people live. You get shot 16 times and live with a 9 millimeter a lot of times. Now, as far as the Dracos and the AK 47s, now, what was meant by what I was talking about was a bunch of people can get hit. It don't necessarily mean you get killed. What it means is you don't have to be skilled at shooting when you're shooting from 90 or 100 feet away with an automatic rifle, which means you might hit 7, 8 people, but might not kill nothing. So that's the difference. So if you really look at it and really pay attention to what I said and Q said, is a lot of these shooters are scary now. They scary. That's why they need all them bullets and shoot from a distance and got 4 or 5 people jumping out of a car to do a shoot. Whereas back in the day, you could stroll down the street, you could hop a fence, you could jump out the car with 4 or 5 shots and get your man. So we wasn't talking about the murder rate is larger now or more people being killed now. We just talking about there's a lot of shootings and more bullets and more rounds being shot now. Now, I challenge you to go look up them reports or the news or whatever figures you got your information from and find out how many bullets are being shot, how many bullets was made back then as opposed to now, how many bullets are being bought and sold now as opposed to then, if you need to understand what I was just saying, which had nothing to do with the murder rate.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to explain things to the audience so they can get better clarity. The bottom line is at the end of the day, what the point that's being made through everything that we're talking about is that we would like young people to behave better, to do better, to resolve conflicts better, than in a bloody, outcome, by pulling the trigger or, killing their adversary.
And you're right, because that's what I'm saying. I'm out the way. I'm not on the front line. I'm not a gangbanger. Them days are over with. So what I'm saying is those concerts, I mean, it's simple and plain. I can't say it no better. You fight, win or lose, you could fight next week or the next big concert. You know what I'm saying? You could go out to Hollywood. You go out to what's the street in East LA where they used to low ride? Whittier Boulevard, wherever, man. Go out to San Pedro, Long Beach, and get your squabble on. So, like you said, we're talking about having youngsters save lives, not take lives.
Yeah, we're trying to motivate the youngsters. And if you want to, okay, we don't mind you got your bones to pick. You want to go over here, you want to fight another group. Okay, that's okay. Do it. But don't stop all the shooting, man. If you want to have some fun, some gang activity, then clean it up. Stop, say, next time somebody say, man, let's take a gun. Nah, man, we don't need no gun. Then maybe that'll take hold, man. It ain't that serious. You want to kill somebody who's just like you. Later on, if you guys live through your gang banging, this is what you should learn from the OGs. If you manage to survive your gang banging, which it doesn't look like you're gonna survive it with all the killing, if you learn how, you will make friends with your so-called enemy. Me, China Doll, we're friends. I'm friends with all of the Pyrus. I'm friends with all of the Brims. I'm friends with the Van Ness boys. Any gang that I once gang banged against, those are my friends now. We survived our madness. And we're friends where we can trust each other. I can go inside of a park. I can go over there in their neighborhood. I ain't gonna do no harm to them. They ain't gonna do no harm to me. But you guys ain't giving yourself a chance to realize that the people that you're killing, you can learn to find out they really cool people, man.
Hey man, look, listen, man. Somebody see people don't pay attention and people try to antagonize, right? But as you said, sometimes it's good to explain to the audience. So nobody said, see, you guys be putting words in people's mouths. We never said nothing about Mac 10s and Uzis. Yes, there was Mac 10s and Uzis. Cutes was gone, homie. Cutes was gone. Now, with the Mac 10s and Uzis, goes back to the murder rate. Goes back to dudes getting their man. Goes back to dudes jumping out the car, jumping over fences, right? So those type of weapons didn't have 100 rounds. They didn't have drums back then. So I don't know what your spin is, but that's my answer to that. Yeah, there was Uzis and Mac 10s, but they wasn't shooting 100 rounds. And people were still getting their man back then.
And usually the gang member who had one, he was a little older than the other gang members, so he had a little more self-control. We all knew he might have had it, but he's not going to just go and do a mass shooting with it. Everybody just say, man, so and so got a machine gun,
And,
45 Thompson. Just knowing he had that made us understand, well, if he wanted to take violence to another level, he has the capability to do it, but at least he has enough sense not to do
and let me go back to somebody mentioned the Tech Nines. Tech Nine shot 9 millimeter bullets. I already said 9 millimeters. A lot of times you live. Those bullets go through you. You live. So they also had Tech 22s. But if you know anything about the Tech 9, most people's Tech 9 jammed. So most people didn't prefer to have a Tech 9. They got rid of their Tech 9s. Another thing you may want to factor in. Now I don't know the statistics on this, but I'm just going off of my eyesight and the people I talk to. Back then, bro, and I'm a witness to this. I'm a victim of this. I hate to say victim, but back then in the 80s and the early 90s, man, the ATF, the FBI, the sheriff, the LAPD, who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Well, they used to raid us constantly because they knew that they had these type of weapons in the community. So we were targets of raids all the time. From the Darton raids in the 30s with the drugs through all over, especially after Operation Hammerhead. Come on, you guys got to do your history. Do some research. Google it. Google LAPD. After the Westwood murders in 1988, they really, really, really cracked down on black people. And I was thinking about doing a story about me being arrested and charged with a crime in 94, I believe, 93, 1993. I think I got convicted in 94. But yeah, the DEA. Yeah, DEA, absolutely. And so they was taking our gun. I don't see, man, let me tell you this. When I come to LA, I don't see no ATF. I don't see no DEA. I just don't see it. I'm not saying they're not there. Y'all know better than
it. All
me.
right, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, man, and it's not for you, Kev Mac, because I know
Yeah,
you already know.
yeah.
Those assault weapons are put in the community in Chicago, Los Angeles, all where these gangs are at, all where these minorities at. The drugs are put in the community. Blacks don't make guns. Mexicans don't make guns. We don't make drugs. Designer drugs are made through a laboratory. Everything is by design. So the conspiracy, a conspiracy, the real conspiracy is that the genocide that you see that is taking place with the black race, black on black crime, is enabled by people who make the weapons, the chemists who make the drugs. They set those things down in the community where they're available to people who don't know how to get along with each other, who do not know how to resolve conflict, who do not understand how to say no to drugs. You understand what I'm saying? So these people, they get the weapons, they start killing each other with the weapons. They get the drugs, they start taking the drugs. They put there to destroy that race of people. My race is being destroyed. My race is the one that's being destroyed. But I'm not going to do nothing stupid. I'm not going to get an automatic weapon and say, oh, I'm going to go kill all of these people because they destroying my race. No, they're not twisting the arms of my people and saying, hey, man, pick up the gun and go shoot your people. Hey, man, take the drug or we're going to kill you. No, we doing it on our own. We're too stupid to say no to it. We're too stupid to not see, what's going on. We ignorant. We need to
We
pull the
are.
blinders off.
I've
So that's what
always
I'm
said,
telling you.
we ignorant, and I don't exclude myself. At some point, our thinking and our actions prove that we're ignorant.
Yeah, we're ignorant. There was a liquor store in every corner when I was a kid. No one twisted my arm to tell me to go in it. But there were all the winos, would sit on the telephone poles that got unearthed, and they would line up the hole on the east side, on the west side. That was a drug of choice. Wine. I looked at all the winos, and none of them had jobs. There was no jobs for them. There was, it was a hopeless situation.
Man, when
But
I
now,
started this channel, Tori Thompson, that's what I used to talk about: conflict resolution. It's
yeah,
not easy to be able to resolve conflict amongst men or even youth. You know what I mean? We need strong leaders, and we need people that been through it and understand it to be able to speak to it and teach us better ways and how to think better and how to do better.
yeah, but we and what you're saying is how you get up out of a rut. So once a person finds something that can help him get out of a rut, he takes hold of it. But he has to want it for himself.
You gotta
You
want
know,
it, of course.
the young person has to, and usually you want it when you get locked up. Usually you stumble across it when you get locked up through some suffering. But the young people who are getting in trouble now, committing all of these murders, the light's gonna click on when they doing all of this time, and it ain't gonna serve them no good. It ain't gonna serve us no good because they already took a human life and they already got life themselves. So they're not gonna get out. They let me out after 32 years. They let China Doll out after what? How many years did he do?
I think 31.
See what I'm saying? And we were our children in the California Youth Authority together.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
he did time with a lot of reputable Crips. He
yeah, he
told me,
did time with me, and
yeah,
so I grew up with him inside of the system. I used to set the table for his mom, and he had the sweetest mom. His mom would cook home cooking for him and bring it up there, and the girls would come. They really showed him love, family love. He had a close knit family that cared and loved about him. But it's like this, man. If you hell bent on screwing up your whole life, that doesn't give you the right to screw up somebody else's life.
right.
So young people,
Man, it's crazy how we grow and we learn and we change our ways of thinking. And
yeah.
we do it in a way where we don't put down the way the next man think or how he lives his life, but we offer a solution and just tell people, man, just wise up and grow up, man.
Yeah, and it
Because
got to be a pay value. If it's
yeah,
not a pay
yeah,
value to the person, then no matter what we say or what we do, it ain't gonna help the next man. It
right.
has to become a pay value to you.
That's why I don't like explaining to these imbeciles online that go off what they hear somebody they don't know say. And it just kills me because they really want to answer, but who are you that I have to answer to you about another man? Why don't
Well,
you
what
why
they
don't you
are, they
let me
they
say
they
this. Let
think.
me
Yeah,
finish real quick.
yeah, yeah.
These dudes you guys ask about and talk about can be found online on social media. If you don't go address that person, obviously you have some type of fear monger problem.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Q's.
No, and it's like I look at us, you know, and we impart positivity, and anybody can come on and be a buffoon.
Yeah,
Anybody can come on and do a skit. But when you talk from your heart and you talk from a state of sincerity, then that's not looked at. Don't nobody want to listen to us. Don't nobody care what we're talking about because we're talking positive. You want to hear a skit. You want
yeah,
to hear so and so's calling so and so a rat.
right.
So and so's about to, check so and so. So and so's about to fight so and so. You want more of that. You want drama.
I,
You know,
I'm
you motivated you motivated by drama, and that's
I'm
what the youth are motivated by too.
I'm gonna predict something that probably 75% of the viewers would predict the same. Some of these dudes on these YouTube channels, at the rate they're going, eventually there's gonna be somebody murdered behind trying to get some views and likes and monetize hating on another dude. And it's sad, but it's coming to that. You can just see it. It's coming because the trolls or whatever you want to call them, these haters, they have become embodied. They're bold now and they're getting bolder and they're just going all the way out. Like they have nowhere else to turn because they have no other content to create. They've worn
I
themselves
don't
out.
understand. I don't understand why they can't come on and talk about their kids. How is your kid? Your kid got to be in his 20s or
Be- be-
30s. How is even if your kid's locked up? Talk about them. How's your
Well,
kid? How's your kid doing? What are you doing? To help your kid. He got in trouble. You were away from him. He followed in your footsteps or whatnot. Well, what,
that's
what are
why.
you doing?
That's why they don't
Talk
talk
about
about their
some
kid.
grown man shit.
They don't talk
Talk
about
about
their kid because their kid ain't shit. And if their kid is shit, they didn't parent their kid. That's why they
yeah,
don't talk about them. The kid can't stand their guts. Kid might not know who these niggas are. That's
yeah,
why they
man.
can't talk about
It's
their kid.
crazy. They
And
don't talk about
another
their
thing,
mom. They
some,
don't talk about
no, some of them
nothing.
ain't. Look, these dudes ain't proud of their mama. They ain't proud of their kids, man. A
Yeah,
lot of these dudes, mama probably don't even like them. My
yeah.
mama told me when I was a youngster, I'll never forget, and I forget all the sayings, but I'll never forget my mama told me, if a person's mama don't like them, you shouldn't like them either.
Man, if my dog didn't like you, I didn't like you. If you came over to my house and my dog was acting weird, and I would say, you know what? If my dog sense this person ain't no good, I'm not gonna like him either. You know.
Yeah, yeah, but like kind of like, and I rarely, if ever, agree with Western Ave, but she's right. And let me see if I can find her comment. She or he, whatever Western Ave is.
Well, I like Western Ave because that was my boulevard I used to stroll down. I used to always peel going down Western. I would always walk my gang down and up and down Western.
Now, see, I fully agree 90%, 190%, however you would like to say that, that in most cases, your viewpoint is irrelevant to me and others that lived it if you haven't lived it.
Yeah,
There's a reason why most people that live through the dangers of what we call the ghetto in Southern California and around the nation, you experience so much, and we all have the same experiences, so we're gonna agree on most things because we've lived it. Now, if you outside, you don't even understand the dynamics, the politics, the getting grimy. You never been, like you say, you never even been in jail. How the hell you gonna speak on this stuff that we live? Like, I really lived it. All these dudes on these shows in LA have really lived it. These dudes are, no matter how reputable or not reputable people are, they lived on the block day in and day out through the crack era, through the war years, through it all. And so a lot of people have valid points that lived it, but if you haven't lived it, you don't know our experience and you don't know what we've been through and you don't know the real. That's another reason why it's easy to corrupt your mind. Somebody could throw something out there about a person, an individual, a gang, or a lifestyle, and you guys fall for it because you never lived it. But then there's us from the hood, from the set, or just from the lifestyle. We see bullshit right away. We can smell it from a mile away.
for
And
sure.
y'all be wondering how the hell they know that.
Yeah,
Like, and y'all think we stupid, but the whole time we just ignoring you because we know you ill informed.
yeah, ill informed. Well, they not educated within the lifestyle that we grew up in, the way we had to survive. They're not ready to, receive the truth because they already built a false reality of the truth. So they don't have the truth. They
Yeah.
they think they could say two and three things and that how come they couldn't see life this way? How come they could behave that way? How come? Because we were conditioned to behave the way that we behave. And was the behavior outside of the realm of norm? In some instances, yes.
Mhm.
But we could self-reflect and see that now. As long as you're alive, you have a chance to grow and mature, and you can look back in retrospect and you can see what you did wrong in your life. You can correct. Then you can help teach. Then you can pass on to someone else within your family, within your community. That's what I'm doing tonight. That's why I'm talking to the white supremacists, the young ones.
Right.
Talking
What
to the
time you
young
gotta
ones.
go to work, cutes?
I'm getting ready to go now.
Yeah.
But hey, do you have the name of the 10
No, I looked them
victims.
up. I can only find video. I didn't have time to write the names down.
Well,
But
for the
you can go
10,
on and give a shout out to the families and let them know that we matured and we care.
yeah, yeah, for the families of the 10 people that were murdered, brutally murdered. I want you to know, from a Magnificent Seven Crip named Cutes, I want you to know that my heart goes out to you, my brother Kid Mac. Our hearts go out to your family in your time of sorrow. And I just want you to know that the good people that you lost in your family, they are in heaven and that they are in a good place. And that it's sad that their days here on earth were cut short by imbecile and by people like Tucker Carlson, who spreads even more of a big lie with replacement theory, and it has to stop. And I think from this day on, that the family members, including myself, who is an indirect victim of what happened, because I feel empathy for what happened, you know, toward your families. I think that we should fight the good fight. And I think that we should make changes in some of these news programs and these radio shows with all of these instigators who come on the air and they take impressionable minds and they mold them to believe lies. And I think it needs to stop. And I think people like Kev Mack and like myself, we should be complimented, even though we were criminals and we lived hard lives and we're trying to make a positive difference in this world and we don't get paid for it. And maybe we don't need to get paid for it. But the bottom line is at the end of the day, we're Americans. So I just hope everybody, sits back and take a moment and mourn, the tragedy and the death of the 10 innocent people that were brutally murdered. And that's what I got to say. So I would like to say goodnight to all of y'all.
All right, Cutes, man, you take it easy, bro.
Okay,
I'm gonna end with this. Thanks for the super chats, Cutes. I posted your link to your Cash App for those that want to send you something for your time and your wisdom, and uh,
appreciate it.
and you are a true patriot
For
by
sure.
a lot of the description itself. But
That's right.
I want to give a special shout out to OG Steve, good looking out, and to Skunk Dog, good looking out, man. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for the super chats, man. You have a good night, Q's. Don't work too hard, man. And we're gonna be back at it tomorrow, right?
Yeah, back at it tomorrow. I'm gonna give a little history. I sent some pictures. I want to send a shout out to my cousin Big Al. Be sure to watch tomorrow, Big Al. All right, you guys have a good night.
Not Farmer Big Al.
No, former Big L, R.I.P.
Yeah,
Rest in
I
peace.
thought so.
But I met another Crip buddy, online named Big Al, and he supports us 100%. He's a good brother doing grown man shit.
All right. Peace, brother.
Peace.